welcome or welcome back to my channel, Lydia Lost the Plot. How are you doing? You good? It's been a lovely week. I have been absolutely loving this sun that we're having here in England, and it is just amazing. I mean, it's very rare that we get a nice period of sun. So everyone is out in their gardens, everyone's in beer gardens, everyone's just enjoying the sunshine, and I think it just makes everyone so much happier. I am very much a sun baby, and I love these beautiful days. So it has really helped to improve my mood as well, which is always good. But I thought I'd share with you today a little book haul, which I absolutely love watching on BookTube. So I thought I'd give it a go and show you what I've got this week. Now, one of the caveats to this is that I am a bookseller by trade, so I get a lot of books for free. I get them from the publishers, I get them through work. And so when I share the books that I have got today, I don't want you to think that I have bought all these books. I do buy books, and I mean, it's a great hobby. But one of the things that I would say is that this isn't a normal amount of books for someone to haul all of the time. And it is purely because every now and again I'll get an influx of packages from publishers, and I think that I'm so lucky to be in this privileged position where I do get books given to me for free on the basis of I'm going to read them and review them. So please don't think that this is an excuse for you to go out and have to buy a load of books because that's what people are doing. It really isn't. Use your local library or shop independent, whatever you want to do. But honestly, I love getting these packages, and I have to share it with someone. So I'm here to share it with you today. So the first book that I got was Soldier Sailor by Claire Kilroy. So it is a Women's Prize for Fiction shortlisted read. I'm so excited about it. I do struggle sometimes with books about motherhood. I recently read Matrescence by Lucy Jones, and it was fascinating, but that was a non-fiction book, so it's a bit different for me. I'm a mother myself. I have 2 children, but I don't find it that interesting to read about. I think because I've been through it, and because it's my day-to-day life is being a parent, and I don't find myself wanting to read about that, if that makes sense. It's kind of a bit too close to home. I prefer escapist reads or books that are going to teach me something I didn't know. So I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm excited to get to it because I think any Women's Prize shortlisted read has got to be half decent for it to have got to that stage. So I will be reading it, but I'm not sure. So as soon as I read it, I will let you guys know what I think. I'm hearing so much buzz about it as well, and it's hotly contested to be the, maybe, should I say it, maybe even win. It could. So yeah, so I definitely want to get to it at some point, but that was the first book that I hauled. And then I'm sticking to a theme here because the second book I hauled is also shortlisted for the Women's Prize, and it is Brotherless Night by Vivi, I'm gonna butcher this name, Ganeshananthan, I think is how you say it. And this is a book that I'm super excited about because I've heard nothing but good things. I know it's been on some long lists for prizes. I know that it's been on some short lists for prizes, and it has been doing the rounds as like a pretty big book. So I'm excited to get to this. I don't know what it's about. I'm not a blurb reader, I'll be honest. I know a lot of people like to read the blurb, they like to know what the book's about, they'll go out and watch videos about reviews before they even attempt to read the book. I'm less inclined to do that. I feel like it spoils a lot of the surprise for me. So I tend to avoid review videos. I avoid reviews on Instagram, and I will tend to just pick up the book and give it a go. I know it's got a lot of buzz around it, but I have tried to avoid the videos that go into detail about plot, about character, because I want to discover that for myself. But so I am excited about getting to this one too. Next up is a Waterstones book of the month. Obviously I work for Waterstones. I'm a bookseller, so I try and read a book from our selected books of the month, at least maybe 1 or 2 a month, so that I know what I'm talking about. And the fiction book of the month for Waterstones is The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. A hugely successful book. Most people think this should have won the Booker. It didn't. It went to a different Paul. So it's had a lot of buzz around it. Forgive the pun, buzz, bee, get it? I'm so funny. So there has been a lot of talk about it, and I know that people are saying it's fantastic. However, the thing that has put me off from diving into it straight away, look how big it is. It's massive. It's huge. It's over 600 pages long. And I know it's a family saga. I know it's about a family, but I just, I don't know, something's putting me off it. So I think I will include this on my TBR for this month and just try and get to it, because I do want to read it. I really do, but I didn't realise it was this big, and I'm not sure I can commit to how long it might take me to read. We'll see. But I am excited about it. The next book that I hold, I'm super excited about. It is Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. This is the paperback version, which is so pretty. Look how gorgeous it is. I'm so glad they didn't change the cover when it went into paperback, because I hate that. If you've seen Demon Copperhead in paperback and you've not immediately wanted to rip the cover off, I don't know what you're doing, because honestly, it was so beautiful in hardback, and then they changed it to a kid hanging out of a window of a bus, and it was just stupid. Okay, I have to get off my high horse, but I did not like that cover, and so I'm so glad that Tom Lake by Ann Patchett is still beautiful. I know a little bit more about this, because I listened to a chat about it on the New York Times book podcast, which is a brilliant podcast if you want to go and listen to that. Honestly, it's so good. But so I know a little bit about it. I know it's about a woman looking back at her life, telling her daughters during COVID lockdown about a relationship she had with an actor, and about them putting on a production of Our Town. And it's just, it looks like, well, it sounds like it's going to be right up my street. Actors, theatre, women, relationships, all of these things are just ticking every box. So I'm super excited about this. So I think this might be a book that comes on my TBR, or goes up my TBR quite quick, because it's one I'm pretty desperate to read. So also, Ann Patchett is just the nicest person in the world. She owns a bookstore called Parnassus Books, and if you go and follow her over on Instagram, she's got these amazing posts, and I would dream to go to that bookstore, because it's so beautiful. I mean, unfortunately, it's in America, so it's pretty far away from me, but still. Another book that I got sent from a publisher was this fantastic, beautiful Acour of Thorns and Roses. Now, I read Fourth Wing, I read Iron Flame, loved them, absolutely loved them, loved the fantasy, the romantasy. It was fantastic. I am not the type of reader to be stuck in a genre, so I'm not like, I immediately then will only read romantasy, but there's something about this book that I don't know whether or not to dive in. And I know that it's such a big series because there's so many books in it, and I think that I like to read series all together. So it would mean committing to reading, I think there's like 8 or something, to reading all of these novels, and I don't know whether I can dive into a world and just stay there for that long. So I don't know, but I might give it a go. What do you guys think? Because if you guys say that this is unmissable, I will read it. But at the moment, I'm not sure. But thank you very much. I think it's Bloomsbury. Yeah, thank you, Bloomsbury, for sending me that. Next up is Carla by Colin Walsh. Beautiful cover. Again, what is with it? Can you see this? It's just my face. The scratched out person. That scratched out person is also on the cover of Eliza Clark's Penance. And I'm wondering, is it the same photographer or same cover designer that's doing this? I'm gonna have to research it, because I don't understand why that's a thing at the moment. The scratching out of the people's face on a cover. Anyway, so I know absolutely nothing about this book other than the fact that it was I think it was longlisted for the Waterstones Debut Fiction Prize, and I think that it comes highly recommended. I know that Martha Loves Books over on Instagram has waxed lyrical about how great this is, and her review of it is fantastic. So if you pop over to Instagram, do look up Martha Loves Books. She's fantastic. She's a bookseller. She's so good, and she loved this book. So I definitely want to read this quite soon. So again, like Tom Lake, it's one that I think will stay at the higher end of my TBR, and that I'll hopefully get to soon. Last but not least is the book that I am probably most excited about. I think it's probably, yeah, let's just say yeah. And that is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. I was convinced this was going to be up for the Pulitzer Prize. Let me tell you, I was so convinced that I asked for a copy of this because I was like, it's going to win the Pulitzer Prize. It didn't. I mean, you know, of course it didn't. And I feel like it's a real shame, because James McBride is a fantastic author. I've not read him before, but I've heard so much about him, and I think that, like a lot of the sort of prolific authors at the moment, the Pulitzer Prize is moving away from the more popular authors and going for slightly lesser known authors, which is great because it puts them in the spotlight, it sells their book, it's brilliant. But I do think that people like James McBride, people like Percival Everett are deserving. Just because you're popular doesn't mean you're not fantastic, if that makes any sense. But again, I know not very much about the plot of this because I'm not going to read the blurb. I want to just dive straight in. I want to sink my teeth into it and just enjoy it. So this will be a book that I will get to very soon because I'm super excited. But that is all of the books that I have hauled this week. It's so exciting getting new books. If there's any of those books that you think that I should be getting to ASAP, please leave a comment down below so that I know which one to read first, because I'm a bit stuck. And I hope you have a fantastic week and that you are reading fantastic books. And I will see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.